We have the Asus Prime B450M-A, and I tend to stick to Primes boards. The Asus Prime boards, they've been very, very great for doing like production and workflow type computers. 970 Evo M.2 SSDs, Samsung's, sexy, sexy beast. These are, what? These are 500 gigs. Let's see here. I ordered a bunch of these F8 Silent. These are production computers, so we've got 6. 3 here, 3 over here. Of course, as you guys, most people know, I stick to the EVGA power supplies, mostly because I've had amazing results with them. 16 gigs of 3000 megahertz DDR4 Vengeance. And then what he's going to use for mass storage is going to be these 2 terabytes Western Digital Blues. We are going with, being as this is mostly audio work and just audio production, we went with Ryzen 3. Intel NIC cards. Now, a lot of people are going to go be like, well, why are you putting, don't the motherboards come with onboard network? Yes, they do. But this is going to be in a production computer where it's using IP-based audio. So rather than use audio off the sound card, all audio is actually going to be traveling through this Intel NIC card. And this is the one, it's going to be for, if anybody heard of it's called Wheatnet. And I have found that these Intel Gigabit CT cards have been just rock solid with every system I've ever run Wheatnet audio on. I've run a few Realteks and I've had a couple of crap out, but these Intel ones have been just solid. Put them in, and I don't think I've had a single problem with any of them. But yeah, this is the 2U case, and I've got one on top of the other reverse. And like I said, I think you can mount a card here as well, but we're not going to be doing that with this. Beyond that, yeah, no, this is going to be these are going to be match systems, and they're going to be screaming. The only thing I don't like about some of these cases is they're still built like old school ones where they expect airflow to come from this and to pass through this way. They keep forgetting that most of these we're trying to pull air this way. In this case, they did not add vent holes on the top. I'm going to have to drill some holes on it because I want this to breathe. So I'm going to drill holes that way this. But the nice thing is the power supply will have a fresh air. Asus Prime 450M-A. This is one of their CSMs. They're tailored more towards business. I mean, if you notice, I've got PS2 ports on them. So we got the A50 CSM. Nice thing is the one mother the SATA ports I'm going to use are going to come off the front like here. This is for the M.2 that we're going to be installing right there, and RAM, CPU, the network card, the audio, the network card for IP audio is going to go there. Now this is the part where I try not to cuss a lot because I need to install a bunch of really tiny pieces. And this is the part where we do our very best not to drop the screw and lose it because it's so small and it'll just disappear like socks in a dryer. Isn't that pretty? Sexiness. I hate their plastic packaging because I'm so nervous. It's like you fight it to get it open, and then I'm worried about the chip going fling. I really don't want that to happen. Always double check the manual. The memory slots are color coded because if you don't put them in correctly, they'll be made slower because they'll be in single channel mode. See it here on the motherboard. Not clearly, I don't see anything clearly designating which one's which, so I'll have to consult zip manual. First stick. Here's one. $16 gigs is going to be massive overkill for this system, but I want them to not have any issues running, because they'll be running multiple windows and various programs, so. Wow, this stuff is sharp. Yeah, be careful with these two. It's real thin metal. If you're not careful, you can cut yourself. And as you're loading these, you will see these little tabs stick out the back. You will have instances where you will have these tabs right here, and sometimes they will go inside. Sometimes it'll do that. And you don't want that. You got to make sure you go through and make sure they line up like that. And like these, I kind of bent them up a little bit. But those, and then when you push it in, it's going to be fairly tight because a lot of these tabs stick back and add tension. And then all you'll do is you'll get screws, and these will line up right there. And then when you're done, it'll look fairly clean. Now, one thing I do different that a lot of other people don't is I zip tie these up individually. If I ever want to grab one of them, I don't have to undo the whole bundle, undo the one I need, put it in use, and all the other ones can stay nice and bundled. I mean, there's far better ways to clean these up, but when you're building work computers or office computers, you have to plan ahead of, hey, I may need to get easy access to this stuff. There you go. Everything nice sexily inside the case. This is build number 1 done. But it is an extremely tight fit for that power supply. So probably what I'm going to have to do, and I don't understand why they didn't do it, I'm going to have to put some holes. I'm probably going to drill a couple of holes right here on top of this case so the power supply can breathe. And also make sure you put them on the proper direction. Yeah. I just put them upside down. The ones you got to watch out the most are the ones right here, these HDMI ones. I always seem to land those inside the connector. Just what you need. The prime boards, which are kind of a better workstation board, but it comes with RGB headers. And I'm almost half tempted on just like sneaking in some RGB on these things. Oh, that smell. Oh, one thing I love about building new computers, just that new power supply smell. Probably it's not even good for you. That's probably why I enjoy it so much. These are my more office style of cable management where I bundle each one together and leave them individual inside there. And the reason for that is you'll never know if you've got to go back in here. Like I may have to add a CD-ROM to this. It was told not, but we may do it later. So I want these where I can just grab the one cable I need, pull the zip ties on it and plug it in, and I won't have to disturb any of the other cables. So yeah, build one, build two. It's alive. All right, first fire up of the morning. I got system number 1 up, 16 gigs of RAM. It's only seeing one of the drives, showing RAM as DDR2133. That's fine, I can work with that. There we go. I'm actually relatively surprised. The front little fans are not that noisy. I still got to figure out how I'm going to work out the power supply, because this literally is about flush. Like, look at this. And there is no ventilation on the top of this. I think that is a massive design flaw with this fan. The lighting is crappy in here, I apologize. Other than that, this is the first time me getting fired up and she's running, so. All right, progress. A little past halfway point. Pile of holes, and now larger holes, and we get a grinding. And metal shavings in the trash can. Yay! Alright, all holes are drilled. Well, we're done. We gotta be careful. There's still burrs in there, so it's gonna. They are sharp, but when it's done, try and do this one-handed. It'll look like that.